Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a worth the buy or nah foundation review on the new Milani, I was going to say 2-in-1. Well, it is kind of 2-in-1. Conceal and Perfect Foundation Stick. Now they do have a liquid foundation form of this, which I love, and so do a lot of people. It is one of my favorite foundations at the drugstore, so I'm really happy they came out with this situation right here, because I definitely want to see how this works. Now they did also come out with a new Conceal and Perfect concealer, so I think this will be a good scenario today. So if you guys want to continue watching, then please go ahead and do so. So I'm first going to be starting off with my Milani Prime Shield. This is the mattifying and pore minimizing primer, one of my favorites from the drugstore. I've been using this a lot here on my channel, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply it all over. This makes my skin feel so good, like so freaking good. So we're gonna go ahead and put this to the side. It gives me a really good smoothing effect, but it also, like, because it's like a gel consistency, it kind of soaks up any of that excess oil that I may have. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off on this side, and we're gonna go ahead and use a sponge, and then on this side we're gonna use my brush. I'm super excited. I picked up the shade 260 Warm Sand. Okay. It's kind of sheer, because I had a, you see, it looks kind of sheer compared to other ones I've tried. Okay, let's just do that much for now. Oh wait, I didn't bring you guys in closer. I'm getting too carried away right now. Okay, so let's blend this baby out. It's blending nicely, quickly. It does seem a little bit more sheer than the other stick foundations that I'm used to, but maybe it's just me. Let's go down here. Like, do you see that? Like, you can barely see it. Like, I feel like I really have to, like, stripe it in there. I always like to stripe my stick foundations as opposed to anything else, because obviously that's the only way you can really apply it. Go ahead and apply some on this side of the nose. I feel like the color is good. Warm Sand 260. Because a girl is living her best winter life right now. It's like 16 degrees out, so can't really expect me to get any sun anytime soon. But I'll be in sunny California soon, so maybe I can pick up some sun there. Okay, so this is what it looks like on the cheek, on the nose. It covered a good amount of my rosacea. So let's go ahead and stripe this forehead, because the forehead is always the easy part. Whenever I'm doing my forehead, I'm like, if my skin was this evened out all throughout, I would literally be thriving, because I wouldn't be needing that much foundation. I think that with that is fine. I may go in with a little bit more right here. Just right there, that's where I'm noticing redness. I feel like it's so easy to, like, go in a little bit, like, more than you would, because it looks so sheer when you're, like, striping, and then you're like, do I have anything on there? But you do, but it covers beautifully. Like, I'm really impressed right now. This looks good. We didn't really go in with that much, I feel like. Like, usually I feel like with stick foundations, I go in with a lot, but with this, it wasn't, like, anything too crazy. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take this side and go in with my brush. And I do have to say, the formula doesn't feel as creamy as some other ones, and I feel like it is giving me like a semi-matte finish. This doesn't claim to be matte, at least I don't think so. I'm going to read the claims later, because these packagings never tell you, you know, what they're good for. But the only thing I am noticing a little bit is that it does enhance some of my texture. That's the only negative side I'm seeing right off of the bat on this side. So let's just go in with the stick foundation one more time with the brush. And I'm going to be taking my Tarte bamboo brush, this nice fluffy situation. I'm just going in circular motions to really push that foundation in. I feel like it's enhancing my texture a little bit. I'm just critical, but I mean, that shit matters. Okay, not bad. Let's go ahead and go in the forehead. I did a side part today. This was like a throwback to like my high school days when I used to live for a side part. Now I only do the middle part, but kind of like a side part from time to time. We have a little bit of redness right here. I'm not too worried about the under eye area because we're gonna go ahead and use the concealer as well. I'm excited to test that out. So that's good. Let's go back in the nose. I don't know why, but I feel like the brush is shearing this out. Okay, so my personal opinion is I would go in with a sponge. I feel like, at least for me, the sponge applied it a lot better. I feel like with the brush, some areas are sheared it out. Maybe it's because the brush is so big and like fluffy that it ended up like separating some of it. So I kind of had to go in and pat as opposed to go in circular motions like I tend to do so with a brush. That's just something that I'm noticing right off the bat. But I feel like for me, I preferred it better with a sponge, which is shocking because usually I prefer stick foundations better with a brush. Okay, so this is the foundation on both sides on. As you can see, the color is pretty good. Color definitely approved. The coverage looks nice. I feel like it was a medium to full coverage foundation because depending on what you use, you can definitely get that full coverage effect. But also depending on what you can use, you can get more of a medium coverage effect. So that's why I'm saying it's medium to full coverage. I just feel like it's really enhancing the texture on my skin. As you guys can see right here, something that the Dior one didn't do. And I did have the same amount of texture, but I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know if you guys can see, like it's really enhancing those enlarged pores right there and that texture in that area, which makes it look kind of cakey in a way. So this is definitely gonna be one of those foundations that through the day will tell me if it's worth the cash or not. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and go in with the concealer. This is from the same line as the stick and the foundation, Conceal+Perfect. It's supposed to be a long wear concealer. Also, like I mentioned, this is one of those that I'm going to have to read about because this is how they come with no info on the actual product. I don't know why drugstore products do that. They should change it up. But I'm using the shade 145 Warm Beige, which I think should be okay. May even match me a little bit closer than what I typically like, but it's okay because I ordered this online. Like I mentioned, when you order things online, you have to be careful. Okay, so let's go ahead. It smells like paint. And yeah, that's it. Okay, let's go ahead and go in right here. I love doing, ooh, this is really creamy. It actually feels super nice. Feels good. Now right now, this concealer shade matches my complexion pretty well. It's not too far off from the shade that we actually have on as foundation. Oh, it's blending very, very good. Okay, and it's really good coverage. Okay. This is what I've been looking for from the drugstore. Good concealers. I feel like it's hard to find good concealers from other brands besides like Maybelline, because Maybelline has some great concealers. So it's nice to see brands branching out. And it looks super hydrating and airbrushed. And do you guys see what I was talking about? Like the difference between this side at this moment to the side that only has a foundation. I feel like now that we put on the concealer, it looks a little bit more smooth. It looks a little bit more fresh and more like skin, like perfected skin, as opposed to the side where we don't have any of the concealer on. It still looks very like thick and you can see all my texture. Now we're gonna go ahead and bake because you guys know that is something I have to do. I'm gonna be taking my Patrick Star powder and my Morphe sponge. Just gonna be going in here. This is another test. Yeah, but like I was saying, right now, this shade wouldn't be my brightening shade. It would be more so just a concealer to match close to my skin. Now, I feel like in the summertime when I do have my nice tan, this will be a more brightening concealer because I am going to get more tan and this will be lighter than how it is right now. I mean, it matches my neck pretty much. Okay, so let's go on this side. It's just, do you see how like, it has like, I love a concealer that's kind of wet. I know that sounds really nasty, but I just love when it's super pigmented but also has like this nice wet creamy consistency. And I mean, this is a good consistency. Do you see how pigmented that is? And it's like, I don't know. I don't want to keep saying, oh, it's wet, but it just looks good and it's blending to perfection. I always like to do my concealer with a sponge. I just feel like I get the best application with a sponge as opposed to a brush. Oh my goodness. Okay, do you see what I'm talking about? I really feel like this concealer smoothed out this under part. It was looking so freaking like texturized and cakey, and now you can't even really see my pores. Like, it completely covered up the pores. I'm just gonna leave it for a few seconds on this side to clear off that bake. Okay, so I'm gonna be taking my Morphe brush. This is the M433, my favorite brush, to dust away this powder. Okay, do you see? I don't know if you guys can see, but right here, the powder's stuck. I think we might have left it for too long. But up here, it looks completely perfected. So that's good, but we just need to make sure that we don't leave the baking powder on for too long. So let's go ahead and dust away this one fast before any issues occur. Okay, yeah. I would say don't leave the baking powder on for too long because it will definitely start to kind of patch up where the foundation is on this side. You can see a little tiny bit on this side, but it's not as bad as it looks on this side. So just be mindful of that. If you do need to bake your under eyes, don't leave it on for too long because it doesn't work the best with the stick foundation. But it did a great job of really making the concealer look nice and perfected and crease free. I think because it is a wet consistency, the concealer, it allowed the powder to just look really nice and smooth on these under eyes. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now is finish off the rest of my makeup real quick, and then I'm gonna come back and give you guys my very first impressions on both of these products. Okay guys, so I am back right now. It is 9:33 a.m. and I finished my entire face of makeup, as you guys can see. I wanted to go ahead and share some of the information that these foundation and concealer talked about. First, I'm going to go ahead and start off with the concealer. So it says it's a creamy, full coverage, water-resistant makeup that instantly conceals and lasts up to 12 hours, which is really interesting. I like the fact that it says that it is water-resistant, creamy, full coverage, and lasts up to 12 hours because sometimes we have a very long day, so we need it to last a good amount of the day. I think 12 hours is realistic. Some foundations claim, or concealers claim, to be like a 24-hour wear, and I'm like, what's the point of saying that when nobody's gonna wear the foundation for 24 hours, to be completely honest? So I think 12 hours is realistic. It says perfect for concealing under eye, blemishes, and skin discolorations. This formula does contain vitamin E to help replenish skin's moisture and is available in 18 shades. So I want to talk about some of the keywords that I noticed in this little description. So it says that it's creamy, full coverage, which I completely agree with. It's definitely a very creamy formula, and I thought that it gave me great full coverage consistency, which is always something that I definitely want in a concealer. And then it says it has the vitamin E to help replenish skin's moisture, which I agree as well, because I feel like this is a very moisturizing consistency. Like I told you, it gave me that like wet effect when I was applying it, and I really like when my concealers have that because I know it's not going to be too dry, and I know it's not going to be too like wet. You know what I mean? It's like the perfect amount of in between, especially for somebody that likes to use matte foundations. It's always good to have a concealer that's kind of the opposite texture and feels a little bit more creamy so that it's not all a bunch of like cake face on. And I'm looking at the under eyes and they just look so nice and perfected. Very, very weightless. I know with some concealers, after you're done baking, they look really heavy, but this just looks perfectly weightless and in place and ready to conquer the day. I love the finish that it gave me in this triangle section of my under eye, because sometimes when you're working with a good concealer, it can really make everything come together in case the foundation isn't the best. Now I do want to say something that I noticed really fast is that this concealer does remind me a little bit of my Laura Mercier Ultra Longwear Concealer. Very similar. They're both very hydrating, moisturizing formulas. If you're looking for a more hydrating concealer and you want something of a more lightweight consistency but still full coverage, that's from the drugstore. I think you will enjoy this. Now, I will definitely keep you guys updated at the end of the day and give you guys my last update on it, but I really am a fan of this concealer right now. I forgot to mention, the concealer does retail for $8.99. So now let's go on to the foundation stick. So the foundation stick retails for $9.99, so pretty much $10. In this foundation, you have 20 shades. It does claim to be a full coverage creamy foundation, which blends seamlessly to cover imperfections and give you an even skin tone. It's a weightless stick that delivers natural matte finish, which I totally agree with. When I was showing you guys, I was like, this looks like a nice soft matte finish. It doesn't look really creamy or like really dewy like some stick foundations tend to do so. It does also say, what does it say here? It says that it contains bamboo powder to absorb oil and lily extract to lighten the look of pores. So when it told me that bamboo powder, I'm like, okay, this makes complete sense. I feel like the bamboo powder on my skin was really enhancing the texture that I have on my cheeks for my rosacea, because I kept saying, this foundation stick is giving me a lot of enhancement to these textures that I do not want. It was looking a little like too much, and you guys know that my cheeks are a little bit of that dry texture right now. So in those areas, I feel like it wasn't necessarily drying it out or breaking apart the product for my skin, but what it was doing is it was enhancing the texture on my rosacea, which was causing it to look super noticeable and like I was definitely wearing foundation. So you have 0.46 ounces, which is pretty standard for a foundation stick, and for what you're paying, it's actually pretty good. I feel like the foundation is definitely giving me a like enhanced, okay, she's wearing makeup look. But I think what came to save it for me was the concealer. I feel like the concealer at the under eye area just looks so beautiful. Now I do quickly want to talk about something else. So they sent me this little guy for free. This is the Milani Make It Last Setting Spray 16-hour wear. Now I have mixed feelings about this product. I'm going to start off by saying that when I first tried this product out, I was really excited, and I'm not going to lie, it makes your makeup last. But the downside of this is that it does contain alcohol. A lot of you guys pointed it out to me when I was trying this. So I was using this because I loved it, and then I started to notice that something was causing a lot of irritation on my skin and was also causing me to have a lot of like texture all over. And I was like, what is it? And they were like, what do you consistently use? And I was like, this. And they were like, okay, let's look at the ingredients. And one of the main ingredients in here is alcohol. That really, really fucked me up. So if you have really sensitive skin, or you have rosacea, or you have, you know, a lot of issues where your skin can react quickly to products, then you will not like this. But if you have really strong skin that doesn't react fast and you don't mind the alcohol, then you probably will really enjoy this. But I know that for me, I won't be getting any use out of this. I got this for free, so I'm not really that worried about it. But it's actually a pretty good travel size product. So, I mean, I got a good amount of product in here for this being free. 1.18 ounces, that's actually really damn good. So if they had something like that but didn't contain those ingredients, then I would totally try it. But I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to mess with my skin. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is continue on with the rest of my day. I will be doing a check-in probably around 2 or 3 p.m. to let you guys know how this is wearing. I'm definitely curious to see how long this will stay matte on my skin. It is a natural matte finish. So I'm definitely not thinking, oh, this is going to last forever, but I would like to see how far into the day before I need to start blotting. But right now I'm going into it with an open mind. It's not the most horrible foundation I've ever tried, but it's not something that I'm like crazy about as of right now. So I'm going to go ahead and go, but I will see you guys in a little bit. Also, I quickly forgot to mention this. All the details on what I'm wearing on my face will be listed down below in my description box, because I know sometimes you guys are curious, so just be on the lookout for that. And yeah, I'll be seeing you guys later to give you guys more info and see if these products are worth the buy or not, so stay tuned. Okay, so I am back. It is now 6:30 p.m. and I am about to go to my spin class. So I wanted to go ahead and do this update and let you guys know how this is doing. The last time we saw each other was 3-ish, and I am ready to give you guys my update. So here's the thing. I don't like how this looks. It looks so freaking cakey. Like, it looks like I'm wearing so much foundation, and you can see my texture so much, and we're getting dewy, so I'm not really getting the effect of a nice matte foundation. I don't know, you can just really like see my pores. And you guys saw that in my little like check-in that I did. Like it was really, really intense. So I'm not a big fan of the stick foundation. Okay, so it is now 3 p.m. and I just wanted to do a check-in with you guys like I promised earlier in the day. I wanted to show you guys how the foundation was doing after all these hours. The last time I saw you guys was around like 9:30, so it's been quite some time. You can definitely see that the foundation looks very, very dewy. Also, I feel like you can really see my enlarged pores like a lot, and the texture. I don't know how I'm feeling about this yet, but we'll have to see. So stay tuned until the end of this video when I go back into my makeup room so you guys can see how this foundation is holding up, but I feel like it's not gonna hold up that well. I want to show you guys the concealer. I feel like the concealer looks super good. You can see the under eye looks fantastic, crease-free and great. So I'll be seeing you guys at the end of the day to give you guys my final thoughts on this Milani Conceal+Perfect foundation. The Milani stick foundation, let's just call it that. But I do have to say that the concealer looks great. Like it's still perfectly, like this area is still matte. As you can see, everything else, like from there down, is like super dewy and it just looks like I'm wearing so much product. Like it almost like wrinkles my skin. I would say this is more so for somebody that has normal to combination skin. I feel like for somebody with combo skin, it probably will like control your oils with that like soft, natural matte finish. I mean, I don't think I would mind the dew if it didn't look so like cakey and like so texturized. But because it looks this way, I'm like, I would have to say, yes, this is worth the buy. The concealer, definitely worth the buy. But the stick foundation, not my favorite for my skin type, and also with my rosacea texture, I just feel like it just enhances it as opposed to makes it look better. And I just don't really like that. So those are all my final thoughts. I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you guys have tried these products out, let me know which ones you like. So if you guys did enjoy watching this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up so I can continue doing more foundation reviews. I have a lot of foundation reviews coming, so stay tuned because you won't want to miss all the stuff I have in store for you guys. And if you guys are new to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. I wouldn't want you guys to miss any of my videos for the world because you guys know I always got you. And also don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you're notified every single time I upload a new video because YouTube can be shady sometimes. So I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon for a brand new video. Bye guys.